welcome back. It is Sunday Sit Down time. With us now is Jeff Parles. You remember him from his time at KTGR as radio host with Matt Michaels all those years ago. Now he's in Las Vegas, Nevada, working for VSiN, doing a great job covering sports gambling. So this is the biggest week of the year for you, right, Jeff?
Yeah. A lot of people could be coming into town this week. I know a bunch of my friends are coming in this week from New Jersey and Washington, D.C. And, yeah, it's the biggest betting. The Super Bowl is the biggest betting individual event. The NCAA tournament is the biggest betting event, period, over days. And this handle the amount of money that will be bet will be insane. And, look, I'm just happy we finally have a bracket. The anticipation was killing me getting to the selection show earlier today.
Well, before we get to the bracket, I want to get to a little bit of local news here with Conzo Martin, getting outed as the Mizzou basketball coach after 5 years. So from the outside looking in, Jeff, how attractive do you think that Mizzou men's basketball job is? Because I think here in Columbia, maybe it's better than it actually is, but what's the outside perception?
I would say at this point that it would be highly unlikely that Mizzou would be able to hire a good sitting Power 5 or Big East head coach right now to take this job. And I think the Mizzou fan base should be pretty happy if Mizzou ends up with one of these few mid-major coaches that you're going to see a bunch of them in this NCAA tournament, actually, Andrew. I'll give you three names right out of the gate here. Let's start with a team that we've seen be a darling in the tournament over the last few years. They made a Final Four. They got to the Sweet 16 last year. Porter Mosher took the Oklahoma job, and now Drew Valentine in year one of Loyola has him right back in the tournament as a 10 seed. The coach of the University of San Francisco, who will play Murray State in their first-round game, Todd Golden, he took over San Francisco from Kyle Smith, who went to Wazoo. Kyle Smith built that program up from nothing. Golden has finally gotten the Dons back to the tournament for the first time in almost 25 years. He is a really good coach, a fun style they play in San Francisco. I look to him there. And then the last guy I look at right now is another one that is in the tournament as a 6 seed, Colorado State's head coach Nico Medved. It took over Furman in his first job, totally dead job, being the earlier in the NCAA tournament this year after he helped build him into a perennial winner in the SoCon. It's a solid job, Andrew. We know we always hear the term sleeping giant, but in the end, it's a good job, not a great job. Should be able to make the tournament more years than not. And if you get this hire right, I would expect to be seeing Mizzou consistently getting into the tournament yet again, like we saw during, of course, obviously all the years with Norm, and then with Mike Anderson and the early Quinn Snyder days as well.
Well, Jeff, 6 SEC teams make it to the big dance. Texas A&M, the big one that didn't, which a lot of people probably think maybe they should have gotten in. Out of those 6 teams that did get in, though, who has the best chance of making a run here to the Final Four, you think?
It's Kentucky and Auburn, and I know that is I know it's not the fun answer that you'd be looking for, but look, the East region that Kentucky got drawn into is brutal. Even though Baylor's the weakest one, the best 4 is there in UCLA, a strong 3 offensively in Purdue. The second round matchup against the winner of Murray State, San Francisco won't be easy, but Kentucky to me is the most built of the SEC teams that made the tournament. So I would go with Auburn and Kentucky. I have both of them making the Final Four in my bracket as we sit here on Sunday night in the first go of my bracket here, Andrew.
How many brackets are you going to put out this year, Jeff?
One.
Just one?
It's only one. Look, the betting and brackets are totally separate. I do one regular bracket, and then I do one bracket where I flip a coin. So I don't really count that as a real bracket. And that's it. Those are the only 2. So one real bracket, one ridiculous, absurd coin flip bracket. That's it.
Well, who is your first round upset? Give us one. Don't give us an 8-9. Give us something a little bit, Jeff Parles like.
Yeah, let's go Chattanooga over Illinois outright here.
Buzzer beater.
Now look, that was awesome. Chattanooga beating Furman at the buzzer on John Baptiste's prayer, going the wrong direction to win the SoCon. But that's a really good basketball team that I've had circled basically this whole year. They had the Kansas transfer, Sylvia DeSuso, who we know the NCAA violations that came with him for Kansas on an amount to no punishment, but that's a different argument for a different day. As we know, Malachi Smith was the SoCon Player of the Year. They're really good defensively. Lamont Paris, the coach of that team, is probably going to end up with a Power 5 job sooner rather than later. And Illinois is susceptible. As good as Kofi Cockburn is, something is missing with that Illinois team, and I've really thought that the whole year, even though they were co-Big Ten champions. 13/4 is the best I got for you, Kaufman. So we're going Chattanooga as a 13 seed. I actually have them making the second weekend in the South region. So there you go.
What's the best bet in Vegas on the tournament?
Wow. What are you looking for? Are you looking for just in general? You're looking
What's
for
the best
futures
bet
here?
out there? Some good odds,
The
something
best
you like.
bet
You
out there.
looked at the
Wow.
spreads?
Wow. So just looking at this real quick, and again, I'm going to have to really dive in. I can almost guarantee you I'm going to bet Rutgers on Wednesday against Notre Dame. I don't think
Is
Notre
that
Dame
because you're the
deserves to be in. I
Jersey
thought-
connection, though, or is that?
Yeah. No, look, I think Rutgers is one of those teams that plays up and down in their competition. So that's the one little worry I have. They're not that good away from the rack and Piscataway. But Notre Dame, I don't think deserved to be in the tournament. I thought the Aggies of A&M or the Sooners of Oklahoma deserved that last spot over Notre Dame.
Jeff Parles, thanks so much for joining us tonight on Sunday Sit Down. Good luck with all your bets, and stay safe in Las Vegas, and what's sure to be a wild week.
Hey, man, it's going to be fun. And, look, it's awesome to be with you. It's great to hear your voice, Andrew. And Mid-Missouri, I miss you guys. I'll see you guys soon at some point.
You're always welcome to stay with me, Parles. All right, we will be right back after this.